A few months ago, I made a video showing how to process JSON documents in DuckDB, and just 1 week after I published it, they did a release that made things even easier, which means that this video is effectively JSON processing in DuckDB, the remix. Let's quickly remind ourselves about the dataset that we were using and the way that we ingested it in DuckDB 0.6. So the dataset represented shots done in football or soccer matches, and then the probability that they resulted in a goal. And then there was a bunch of other metadata as well. Let's just quickly come over to VS Code to see the full set of SQL statements that we did to get this data in. So first of all, we created ourselves a temporary table called raw shots, where we'd kind of gone into the JSON and pulled out an H and A properties, and then we kind of union them together. And then finally, we'd used another command to work out, okay, what is the actual structure of the JSON inside each of those arrays. And then we created another table called shots, and we unnested those arrays, and then we kind of manually pasted in the structure that we'd got back from calling another command. And then that was how we ingested the data. So it worked kind of reasonably well. Let's have a look at how we can do the same thing in DuckDB 0.7. So we'll create ourselves a database. We'll call it XG new DuckDB, and then we're going to just quickly remind ourselves of the data set. So we'll call describe from data shots star.json. So there are a bunch of files, and we'll get just one record back. And you can see, look, we get this is structure. So we've got a column, and it's automatically kind of computed. We've got a column H, we've got a column A, and they've got struct arrays. So notice it's got the little array symbol on the end. And then you can see all of the columns in there as well. And it's done all this automatically. So the stuff that we kind of manually constructed, it's done this for us. That's a good start. Let's have a look at the data as well. So we'll just do select star from that table, and we'll get one record as well. And so you can see here, we get all the records. And because it's an array, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But we can, as we did before, unpack those struct arrays using the unnest function. So let's do that. So first of all, we'll create ourselves a CTE with just one record from the shots JSON files. And then we'll unnest the H column, and then we'll unnest the A1 as well, and we'll union those two together. And now it's a little bit easier to read. So you can see we've got each individual shot as one row, and you can see this is from a match between Liverpool and Newcastle United, and there are a bunch of different shots that we can see on the screen. We can now create our table. So we can say, hey, create or replace the table shots as, and then the same command we just did now, select unnest H as row from that table, and then we'll union unnest A as well. And that's it. That is how you create the table. So we kind of simplified things in it, and it's sort of automated some of it for us. But if we describe the table, some of the column types that it's come up with are not optimal, I would say. So X, Y, and XG, for example, are all there as varchars when they should really be double values. So let's just quickly check what they were on our old database. So we can attach other databases. So we'll attach our XG, we called it xg061.duckdb, and then we'll describe the shots table in that database. And you notice here we've got like most of the columns are the same, but yeah, for those particular ones we've got double. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to copy that column type, and now we'll just alter our shots table. We'll alter the row type in particular, and then let's just paste in that type. And then once we've done that, now the table should be exactly the same as what we had before, and we'll just exit DuckDB. Let's have a fight to finish the video. Let's have a look at some of the queries that we did in the last video. And so I learned this new thing while doing this video, because they've got a little echo parameter that you can pass in. And so we can stream in one of our queries, so the Man City query, and echo will actually print out. So you can see it prints out the query at the top. So we can see, hey, what we're doing, we're finding out the XG for the matches involving Manchester City. And then if we scroll down, we can see how well they've done in terms of total XG and XG per match across different seasons. And so you can see there was kind of a peak in 2019, and then it's sort of been going down and up a little bit since then. Let's do one more query. So this one is XG versus goals. So like, what was the probability that you scored versus you actually did? So you can see here's the query. So we're stripping out the own goals. And then if we scroll down and look at the results, unsurprisingly, I guess Manchester City are at the top. We've got Leicester in there, and Tottenham, and then Arsenal. And so that's it. JSON processing in DuckDB is now super easy. So download it and give it a try. And I'll see you in the next video.